Hello everybody, what's going on? It's Chaz, the Alabama Redfish Wrangler. Today I wanted to kind of show you guys just a quick short video of my boat and in the kayak fishing setup that I use. Some of the things that I've done to my boat, when I first started off, I kind of just tinkered with things that I saw on YouTube and use other people's ideas and kind of just incorporate in my own little setup here. So, all right guys, here is my boat. I wanted to show you all this. I recently got, well, I would say recently, I got this several months back. It was gifted to me by my grandfather, and it's a great fishing kayak. It's an Sin FS12T. Very stable boat. It's 12 feet long. I've done a couple things to it. Put the anchor trolley system on here. I actually made this myself. Did that with just some little pulley wheels and basically some paracord. It works really well. I like it because I've got, I keep my anchor attached to it, and I can reposition myself in the water without having to paddle or anything like that. I can just slide this cord like so, back and forth, and it'll position me kind of how I want. I'm in the process right now of, as you can see, the wood down there. I'm about to develop a way to mount a trolling motor on the back part here, but that's something that's going to come later on. As you can see, I have a Yak gear box on the back here. It's got two rod holders. Mainly what I use it for is just to put my rods in. I really don't store a whole lot in here. As you can see, there's some fish grips in here, but I usually keep those up front with me when I'm fishing. I just throw it in the back for storage. Right here, I've tied a rope off with this is just some paracord. Tied that off just so I can tie my boat up to the dock or anything like that, when I'm going to my car or whatever. It's just useful to have that. One thing that I've done, as you can see, is I've put some marine goop around basically where things are screwed into this boat. I also went in and put marine goop in here under these screws. It didn't affect this at all. It's still just as strong as it was, and it does the job. Basically, the reason why I did that is water will build up in here sometimes, and then the water seeps through into the actual hull of the boat, and I don't really like that. I had some issues with getting water in there at first, and so I took it upon myself to put some marine goop around here. Also did it around this. I don't actually use this very much just because it's kind of hard to get open, as you can tell. I actually took the little dry bag out of there. I don't know, it's not really big enough to fit anything. So I really don't use it. This, however, I do use. This comes standard on the kayak. What I did here is water was getting in, like if I would spray down my kayak or if I would take on a little bit of water when I was paddling, it would seep in through the sides right here. And so what I did is I put some marine goop along the edges here. And that just basically, keeps the majority of the water out. Not to say that water doesn't still get in here, because it definitely does. But I've cut down on a lot of the water that gets in here by using that. All right, so this is just a water resistant box that I keep inside my kayak. It works pretty well. It does the job. I throw my phone, my wallet and stuff in there when I'm out on the water. It just keeps it, where I guess I feel better having that stuff stored in something. I'm not really big on the dry bags because they slide around in here, and this kind of just fits perfectly in here, and it doesn't really move. So other than that, when I'm out on the water, I will throw just random things in there. Sometimes I'll put my fish grip in there. other things like that. It's a good little storage. These foam inserts tend to move around a little bit, which is not my favorite, but right now they're kind of in there, and so I don't really mess with them. Eventually, when I mount my fish finder, when I get a fish finder, I'm going to try and mount it to the top of this, and I'll run basically my wiring through the top of this hatch, waterproof all that, and then I'm going to put another waterproof box in here and run all my batteries in there and so on. All right, so let's close this up. Moving up to the front of the kayak, as you can see here, I've got a couple GoPro mounts. This one I just stuck on the side here. I can adjust it up, I can adjust it forward, however I want it. When I'm storing it, I keep it like that, just so, you know, something doesn't come by and knock it off, whatever. As you can see, I also put marine goop in here on the front bungees. I explained that earlier, just to keep the water out of the hole. I've also got another GoPro mount here, which I like. I use these quite a bit. And what's nice is I've got two GoPros, so I'll put one on either side. So basically I have double the video. So if something happens to one of my cameras where it's not a good angle, or I accidentally set something on top of my camera or whatever, I can pretty much just use the footage from the other GoPro. And that usually it's worked out in the past. Right here, I got a little sea deck sample. So I just stuck that on there. It's not really for anything. It's just something I stuck on my kayak. One thing I like about this kayak is the adjustable foot pegs. So these move back and forth. I usually keep them pretty far out. As you can see, I'm a taller guy, so I keep them about right there, and they work. They definitely add comfort to your ride. This right here is a, let's see, I think this is made by Yak Attack. Yeah, it's just basically, you know, you can attach attachments here. I don't have anything yet that I've attached on this, but I do plan on doing something with this later on. Just not really sure yet. The kayak comes with this paddle holder built in, standard on the kayak. If I'm not mistaken, this model year is a 2014, so it's a little bit older. The new FS12T, or I guess it's just called the 12T now, has deck padding, a couple different things. I think they moved this to a more central location. And, you know, there's a couple differences, but I really do like this paddle holder. It does a good job. It doesn't really get in the way, and I like the way it holds my paddle kind of flush to the side of the boat. That way I don't really have to worry about it. And it's nice and out of the way, instead of being straight up here where, you know, it kind of gets in the way of your legs, things like that, your anchor, whatever. I did add another GoPro sticky mount here just to have another angle. It came with a rod holder on the boat. I actually took that off and sealed these up. I never used the rod holder. It just was kind of awkwardly placed for me, and so I took it off and sealed it up because I never used it and it was just in the way, and so on. This right here, I've just added this little Missouri conservation sticker. I'm from Missouri. Had some of these. It's nice because basically when I am sitting down, I can just turn to my right here, measure my fish. If it's a keeper, you know, throw it in my box, which I usually keep in the back portion here. I'll keep a cooler in there, a small cooler, like an angle or, you know, whatever in there. And it works out pretty nicely having it there. One thing that I didn't really care for on this kayak was the fact that the seat is just not very well made. It tends to bend right here at the hinges. And the reason is because the seat sits too far off of the kayak. These things, so what I've kind of done to combat that bending action is put these pool noodles on my seat here. You know, it works. I usually have one on the back here. It popped off right now, but I keep those on there just to kind of elevate the seat a little bit. It does the job, you know. I'm not really, I've thought about, and I've seen some other guys where they'll actually mount this part right here. They'll put a metal bar, if you will, under that, and they'll mount the seat up higher on the kayak. That's something I might do in the future. I just haven't gotten around to doing that yet. But it seems like it would be a good idea. My only concern really is the center of balance on the kayak. I don't want to get it up too high because then it will affect the stability of the kayak. Moving on, the kayak comes with 2 built-in rod holders. These are really nice rod holders. I actually do like them. I use them quite a bit. And as you can see, I've got my net in here right now. I put some reflective tape on the back just to give boats more visibility when I'm on the water, you know. And sometimes I go out super duper early in the morning and right at dawn, so that just, I guess, gives me a peace of mind when I'm out there on the water. It's a cheap upgrade. Yeah, you can get those at Walmart for like $1 or something. And really, that's it. I love this kayak. It's done me very well. I've caught many fish from it. I basically, every time I use it, I take it and I wash it, spray it off really good, because the salt water can be rough on these things. As you can see, I've got a little bit of rust back in here, and that's just from the salt water. This is one that I've got to repair that one. It came off. That is another thing that I'm not super big on, is the fact that these just aren't they're not very well built. They were just put in, you know, with that screw. I thought about taking this out and actually putting in my own, but that's something I'm going to do later on. I'm not too worried about it right now. But yeah, so that's my kayak. If you guys have any questions, anything else you'd like to see, throw it down in the comments, send me a message. If you haven't liked and subscribed already, hit that subscribe button, and stay tuned for more videos. Thank you.